So if you're a player who's struggling with casting the club early in the downswing, or maybe pulling on the handle excessively and using these wrists incorrectly, causing a whole host of striking directional issues, then this video is really going to help. Guys, I'm Danny Malcolm. Thank you so much for joining me today. We're here at the Perth Golf Centre studio, and I've partnered here with HackMotion Wrist Sensor to really go through some wonderful training, some guided practice, and 3 of my favourite drills that I use every day in my coaching to help people stop that casting in the downswing. So stick around for those. Guys, why is casting such an issue? Well, when we cast a golf club, we're basically losing those angles that we've created between our arms and the golf club. We're early releasing, casting the golf club, and that then leads to a weaker impact position, adding more loft, higher, weaker shots, but also hitting the ground before is a very common thing that I see, and that causes a whole host of issues directionally and from a distance perspective. So the flip side to that is people trying to hold lag, which is when we get this pulling. I often see this pulling on the handle, which it looks like we've got a bit of lag here. We've maintained some angle between the club and the forearm, but this lead wrist often gets excessively cupped. So as we come down, we get into this position where we cup that lead wrist there, get it into too much extension, opens the club face, and then we tend to see a shot that really blazes out to the right for the right-handed golfer. So 2 different sides of the coin, if you like, there. And today we're going to go through some of my favorite training to improve those areas. So guys, we've got here HackMotion. We're going to go through a drill here that is all about casting. So I'm going to take you through this one right away. So what we're looking at here for this drill is just setting up to your normal setup position once you've calibrated your sensor. And from here, it's going to say stand still. It's calibrated my setup. You get this little clicky sound there that we heard, and then it'll say go to the top. Now from here, I've got the biofeedback on. I can feel this buzzing as I'm in the correct spot. But now as I work down, what I'm trying to do now is maintain those angles, and then I get not casting, which is great. So again, to the top, and then I'm going to maintain those angles coming down, and I'm not casting. So from this view to the top, and then I'm coming down. And what I love about this training is that you can do it slow to get the feels first. You can also do this at full speed, and it'll give you the feedback as well. But by doing it slow, you're getting the feels of what it's like. Now, if I do it wrong and I maintain angles, but I pull on the handle, so if we see on this next one here, and I go to the top, and I pull on the handle, so what you see there, it says extension in transition. Yes, I didn't cast the club, but I pulled on the handle to such a fashion where I got cupped. Now, if I'd have hit that shot, that would have probably gone a very, very long way to the right, or I might have made a late save to try and correct. So just be sure that when you're trying to hold lag, you're not doing it in this fashion. Okay, so there we go again. It just came up just in that rehearsal. So what we're going to do now is just hit a few shots, and we'll see what we'd like to see. So I'll just hit a normal shot here. And you can see, yeah, not casting there for a normal shot. I don't cast the club, so that shouldn't really be an issue there. But if I did, now the other example of casting the club, if I do that, you get that negative kind of feedback there, and it says, I'm having some issues with casting the club there. Bright red, you know about it. So that was essentially me from the top, releasing those angles early, and oftentimes you might see that presenting a face that's left as I release the club early. Now my face is presenting left, high left shot, typically in shoes. So guys, that's the difference between the 2 here with this training. Now I'm going to go through my favorite drills to improve this. So probably one of the most common things I see guys with casting is when players extend this right arm too early, and this gap here between the upper arm, the humerus, and the side of the body here increases, and we have this big gap here, and then we tend to get that straight right arm and get into this position at impact. So if you're a player that's doing that, what I'd encourage you to do is maybe get a golf glove and place that under your trail armpit, right at the top of your armpit there, keeping a little bit of pressure. That's one of the key pressure points in the golf swing here in your top of your armpit. And making some swings where we swing to the top. Now, we're not trying to keep the whole thing pinned in by your side. We're just trying to keep that glove in there at the top. And then as we transition in the downswing, we're trying to get that glove to stay in there. Now, a lot of people that cast will lose that glove and result in a cast, and then you'll see the result on the training here. So they'll get into that position. And I see that so often as a contributing factor to casting the club. So that's a great training, and it gives you instant feedback because you want to keep that in here. Now couple that with HackMotion and you can start to just hit a few little shots, maybe starting slow first. So now I've got, there you go, not casting, I've got this glove still under my armpit, again from this angle. And I've not released the club early. So you could still have the glove here and still release it early, so it's key to get the feedback for your wrist as well. But this is one of the common things I see as a big contributing factor for that. So that's the first drill. Now another drill there that I really like is just the concept of if you was in a swimming pool, right? If you was into a pool up to your kind of waist or your belt buckle area here, the idea is as you get to the top, you're trying to get the butt of the golf club into that water first. Now, when you're doing this drill, just be sure that you're getting a nice little bit of body movement towards your target. So we want to get that little shift towards the target as I'm lowering the arms. So I'm not just slamming the arms down, I've got a little shift forward. Now that butt of the club's getting into the water first before the club head. That's what we're looking for. Now if you get that incorrect, you're going to get the club into the water first. So with HackMotion here to the top, splash in the water, and again, there's your feedback. There's your feedback. With that concept of to the top, wait for the click. I'm always a bit eager. So to the top, and then shift and get the butt of the club into the water first. Leave that club head behind, and then we can do a little shot with that feel as well. And that's just another good concept, a very simple one that you could bring in conjunction with that training aid here as well. So the third one, which I think is probably really important as well, is understanding how the wrists work as well. So as we saw earlier with HackMotion, if we get, we don't cast, but we get the wrist in this extended or cupped position, that gets my club face wide open. So yes, you might not be casting, but pulling on the handle can really affect your club face. So this one's just simply called knuckles down. So there's some other wonderful training on HackMotion here for really working on the wrist in the downswing, but this will still give you that feedback if you're extending too much. So when you get to the top, now we're looking for that feeling of getting your knuckles turning down and to the ground. So I must have cast a little bit as I did that there, but so to the top, and then we're getting it to turn down and to the ground. So as you come through, we're getting that, and we see that from the best players in the world, that feeling of turning the knuckles down. It's really going to help you square up the face, and really going to help you get into a wonderful compressed impact position and getting a ton more distance off your shots as well. So this will give you that feedback as you go through. It's a nice one there. And again, if I do that incorrectly and get too much extension, oh man, that even hurts my wrist trying to do that. Look at that extension in transition. Oh man, that really hurt. That's not how your wrists want to work in the golf swing. So guys, some wonderful drills there, some lovely training. You can even change this onto the data segment, and you can start to see, where there, for example, my wrist in transition were, too extended. So now we're going to try and do a good one. Felt really good. Felt good on my wrist too. And so you'll see there, yeah, you can see in the transition, I got it into a wonderful position. Nice bit of flexion in that transition phase, which is really a key key move in the swing, where from the top in transition, coming into delivery, P6 here, massively important piece in the swing. So in summary there, guys, my top 3 drills. First, you can get a golf club, put it under your trail armpit. That's for those players who are struggling with that trail arm, extending it too early, resulting in casting. So glove under your armpit, feel that move. And again, with this training, you can just do it nice and slow. Feel where you need to be. So to the top, nice little shift towards the target. As you lower those arms, keep that pressure point in your top armpit there with the glove. If you get it wrong, there she goes. And so that's drill number 1. Drill number 2 is a swimming pool analogy. Up to your waist in water, trying to get the butt of the club as you shift forward into that water first, before the club head. And then number 3 is getting the knuckles down. So that's for those of you that are maybe pulling too much in transition, causing some club face errors. So you're going to feel the knuckles more down through the shot, giving you much more compression, much straighter golf shots as well. So give those drills a go, guys. I hope they help. If you have any questions about any of them, please post them below. I'll respond to those myself. And if you'd like any more information on the HackMotion Wrist Sensor, please click the link in the description below. There's a discount code there for anybody who wants to purchase their own and get stuck into some training right away. But guys, thank you so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you on the next video.